Okay, so everybody's making a big deal about Sony blocking games going to Game Pass. That's funny. That's actually funny. Listen, guys, both company does that. Every company does that. Every company pays for exclusivity, and the thing is, Microsoft try to play it off, saying that exclusive doesn't matter. It matters. The reason why they're saying that is because they are losing. Xbox has been losing since the beginning of time, since the beginning of the original Xbox all the way up until the Series X. The only system that did it well for Xbox was a 360, where they did everything right. And if you look back at that time, Microsoft, they paid a lot of those Sony studios, third-party studios, to put games on Xbox. Remember GTA and Devil May Cry? Microsoft actually had to go in their pockets and pay Capcom to put Devil May Cry on Xbox and pay Rockstar to put GTA to make it non-exclusive anymore to PlayStation. Because remember, GTA and Devil May Cry was actually exclusive games to the PlayStation brand. And thanks to Microsoft paying that money, now those games can be played everywhere and on, most importantly, the Xbox platform. Now, what's the difference from Microsoft actually buying Bethesda and Activision? It's the same thing. So now they're blocking games from going to Sony. And at the end of the day, guys, it's business. I don't know why Microsoft even brought the issue up that Sony is blocking games to go into Game Pass. And Microsoft, they're buying up studios so games can be exclusive to their platform because they have no exclusive games. Since Microsoft itself isn't talented to make first-party quality titles, they want to buy everybody out. Microsoft are actually sore losers. That's why they're trying to buy everybody. Now, if Sony really is paying money to block games from going to Game Pass, that's actually smart. It's all about business. And Microsoft shouldn't complain because they're buying up studios so games can't go to the PlayStation platform or any other platform. They're all doing the same thing. They're all backstabbing each other at the end of the day. It's all about business. Companies are going to do what they need to do to put their platform of choice on top. Sony's trying to sell PS5. So, and what has been working for Sony all these years since 1996? Exclusive games. Nintendo did it back in the days. Nintendo was cutthroat as well. Nintendo paid developers back in the day, said, hey, if you make games for our platform, you cannot make games for any other platform. If you look back at Nintendo had a lot of games that wasn't on any other platform. Same thing with the Super Nintendo. But Super Nintendo was a little bit more flexible because Super Nintendo Genesis, a lot of them had the same games. But Nintendo did the same thing back in the days. If anything, I think all those companies learned from Nintendo. Nintendo started that. Hey, we want all the exclusive. You can't put your games on another platform. That's how your platform thrive. Because if you don't have any games, any good games like that, exclusive games, your console will not sell. That's why Xbox consoles never sell. Because they don't have the games, the high caliber, the high quality games like Nintendo and PlayStation does. Xbox has nothing. You can play Xbox games on any platform. So why buy an Xbox? And Microsoft is acting like, because they're losing, now all of a sudden, we don't care about console sales. So if you do not care about console sales, why still make consoles? Get out of the gaming industry or become third party. Just lend Xbox Live to Nintendo and Sony, and the reason why I say that because Xbox Live does have the best service. But anyway, just lend your online services to Nintendo and Sony, and just put all your games on Nintendo platforms and on Sony platforms, and there you go. Don't make Xbox anymore because Xbox has been on a decline. Xbox sold less than half than what the PS4 sold. I forgot. I think the PS4, let's just say, I'm guessing around 117, 120 million PS4s. I think it's 117. I'm not sure about. Let's just say 117, 120 million PS4 sold worldwide, right? Xbox One is at 51 million since 2013, and that's just an estimate, meaning they probably sold less than the 51 million that you'll find on Wikipedia. So if you look at the numbers, people don't give a crap about Xbox brand anymore. Xbox has been a dime brand. The only reason why Xbox is still here is because it's a $1 trillion company. Microsoft is a $1 trillion company. Last time I checked, they have less than $1 trillion now, and that could be wrong. But I mean, they spent $70 billion on Activision, and they've been buying up a whole bunch of studios and wasting their money on the Xbox brand. So their money's going down. But at the end of the day, Microsoft is still a fairly rich company, and they have that bag. They can buy out anybody who they want. That's a problem with Microsoft. They're sore losers. So if we can't beat the competition, let's buy out the competition. They tried that with Nintendo. Now they're doing that with all these little third-party companies. It's like a console war. And I'm glad Nintendo's the smartest one out of all of them, is sticking to their guns. Nintendo's just sitting back watching Microsoft and Sony fight over nonsense. Nintendo bet on themselves. They invest in the companies they already have to further make their games even better. So kudos to Nintendo on that. But as far as Sony blocking Microsoft, as far as like telling developers don't put their games on Game Pass, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's actually smart, because the way how I look at it, if I can play Sony games on any other platform, there's no point of me of buying a PlayStation 5. And and that's what's going on with Xbox right now, because Xbox games are on every platform. That's why that's another reason why they're not selling. Why buy a Series S and a Series X or any Xbox platform for that matter if I can play their games on another system? That makes no sense to me. If I could play Nintendo games easily on any other platform, I wouldn't buy a Nintendo system either. But people buy consoles because of the exclusive games. Exclusivity matters and will always matters. I don't care what anybody say, any fanboy say. Microsoft is saying exclusivity doesn't matter because they know they don't have the exclusive games, and they're trying to play mind tricks on everybody to get them to agree with them. But the truth of the matter is, if exclusive games don't matter, then why don't you put Gears of War, Halo, and Forza and other platforms? Then why are you buying out Bethesda and Activision to have all those games exclusive? It's all a mind trick with Microsoft. Game Pass, they had to do something because they were losing so bad with the Xbox One brand. They practically started giving people games away for free and tried to make video games a service. And Game Pass is cool, but at the end of the day, it's a bad idea because I don't think developers are getting the money that they could get. Because if a developer sells games by themselves, I mean, that's a high potential sale. I mean, a developer can put out a game, sell 12 million copies, 20 million copies, 8 million copies by themselves, versus they're doing a deal with Microsoft. And I'd love to know what kind of deal Microsoft does with Game Pass with developers, because I don't see developers making a lot of money off Game Pass. Like, how does that work? Like, how do they split the profits? I mean, I'd rather take the chance of selling the game on my own and hoping the game sells 5, 10 million, 6 million copies and getting all that revenue, versus going to Microsoft and, my game doesn't sell. Because if all those games are on Game Pass, it kind of like defeats the purpose of actually going out and buying the game, or even buying the game off Game Pass itself. Because there's some games on Game Pass I play that, okay, you can finish the game and then there's no need for you to buy the game. So that's one less sale that developer is against. A Game Pass on paper sounds like a good idea, but in reality it's a bad idea, because I don't think developers are actually making any money off that service. And I'll be damned if I see the day when video games become a service, because video games aren't a service. Video games is something that, our childhood memories, something we play on our pastime to escape reality of this world, and not to mention owning a physical copy of your game. Owning a physical hard copy of your game. Where, years later when I have kids, I say, hey kids, look at this, check this out. I know you guys have this little feature, but check this out. This is a game that we used to play. You open it up, You take the game out and put the game in your system, and you own the game. You have the game forever. Whereas digital content and streaming, when the servers go down, you can't play your games. We've all been experiencing that. And you have these new age kids, this next generation, the newer generation, and these idiots out here who seem to think streaming and digital downloads is the way to go. And those are the same guys that are complaining now that they can't play their games offline without a hardwired internet connection. And even sometimes when you have connection, the service may be down. You can't play the games that you paid for. I don't want a future like that. Also, too, Sony needs to ignore Microsoft and keep doing what they have been doing. They have better studios than Microsoft, but they have better games. Keep doing what you've been doing, Sony, all these years that kept you number one in the console generations. That's what Sony needs to do. And they need to stop putting their games on PC, because you putting your game on PC, you're actually making Microsoft win. Microsoft is PC. So I know they put some of their lower caliber games on PC, or some of the games that didn't do too well, or some of their old games on PC, and everybody else can enjoy it, which is cool, but that's also a facade. There's a lot of fanboys out there that secretly want Zelda, Mario on their favorite platform, God of War, Ratchet and Clank on their favorite platform. Trust me, they're not going to admit that. So they're the same ones that jump for joy when they heard that Sony games are available to play on PC. But exclusively is what matters, is what keeps customers tied to your console. And that's just what it is. Exclusive games matters. And before Sony started putting their games on PC, I lucked up and I got a PS5. And I'm not really impressed by it as much. Same thing with the Series X. But after the fact that I got the PS5, now Sony's putting their games on PC, which is a bad idea, because now I'd rather just play those games on PC, because I know it's going to be better on PC, because I have a beefy PC, and I can play games in 165 frames and up, and at 4K as well. So what's the point of playing those games on a console where you're going to be still stuck to dynamic 4K and 60 FPS? A lot of these PS5 and Series X games don't even hit 120 FPS with 4K. So you see what I'm saying? So, and my PS5, even though it's sitting right over there alongside the Series X, I don't even play it. I can't tell when last I played my console, because there is no point. Because I can play all the games that are on consoles on my Steam Deck, and I just got my Steam Deck. My Steam Deck is... my Steam Deck is over there on the charging right now. And most of the games that are on every console, you pretty much can play every game on the Steam Deck. So what's the point of me even buying a PS5 and a Series X, or pretty much owning one? It's just collecting dust. If I can play the same games on the PS5 on my Steam Deck, what's the point of owning those consoles? So exclusive matters. And by Sony whoring their games out to PC, it's a bad look. Because I don't care what nobody say, or what any polls say, if you can play Sony games on a PC or any other platform, the PS5 is becoming less and less irrelevant to even have. And I would never thought I'd see video games come down to this, man, a service, and all consoles have the same games, all platforms have the same games. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either if there comes another video game crash. I remember the video game crash back in the days where Nintendo came in and saved the industry. And I'm glad Nintendo is dragging their feet and sticking to their guns and being traditional. They're not perfect either. They can do better on a lot of stuff. But when you look at it, Nintendo's the only company that's actually doing things right. That's why they're winning. And the Switch is still the #1 selling console for 5.5 years in a row. And that's in the wake of Steam Deck, PS5, and Series X. Steam Deck is cool. You know what I'm saying? The Switch Nintendo gave birth to the hybrid idea. Not everybody wants to be a Nintendo Switch. As much flack as Nintendo catches and people hate on Nintendo, without Nintendo, we would never get to where we are right now. Now you have all these little wannabe PC portables, aka really handhelds at the end of the day, disguised as PC disguised as PC, trying to throw people off. Everybody wants to be a Nintendo Switch, and who started that? Nintendo did. So no matter how powerful the Steam Deck is or any other handheld like the Air Neo, the Nintendo Switch will still be the GOAT. And when the smoke clears and Sony crash and burns for putting all their games or most of their games on the PC and their platform start becoming less irrelevant, they have themselves to blame because Microsoft set that trap for them. So when Sony starts going down, Xbox is already down the hill anyway. They're not doing anything. When the smoke clears, Nintendo's going to be probably the only console manufacturer standing, still doing it the right way, still pumping out hardware with physical media like how it should be. If it's not broken, why try to fix it? And Microsoft needs to start making excuses about exclusive doesn't matter and they don't care about consoles. So that's such a line, so ridiculous. So why make consoles? But guys, I do not want to repeat myself, but Microsoft is the cancer of gaming. They started everything bad. The whole DLC situation got out of hand. They had the microtransactions that got out of hand. The DRM situation got out of hand. The DRM came back from 2013 when Xbox One tried to introduce DRM. But yeah, but that's all I gotta say, guys. So, Sony blocking games from going to Gamepass, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's all business. It's all competition. Microsoft does the same exact thing. So, you guys have any comments about that? Leave it down in the comment section. And for those of you guys that's new to my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps my channel out. I report on video game news. I do unboxing, reviews, everything gaming, and I do some other stuff too as well. Let's check my channel out and you will see. Red Crimson 102 out. Stay tuned for the next video. Peace.